provide sometimes.
That's my point.
Hello.
You know, not everything is the end all be all.
Shalom.
They want
Hey,
something.
I'm hearing you, and I just wanted to give you a word of encouragement.
Thank you.
First of all, my mom told me a long time ago. First of all, let me give my regards to your mother. I just wanted to say hello to her.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
She can hear you. She said thank you.
Oh, okay. How you doing? I'm Tone.
You
I'm
wanna
a
put this on
sister.
air?
That's what you
Oh, well, Tunes, do you want to be on air? Because we about to go back on.
Oh, sure. Not a problem.
Okay. I'll put you on air.
1 minute.
Okay,
Tell
just
you
a
need
second.
like 1 minute. Need
Get 1 minute. And I was just about to shout you out, too. Look at the website. I was just about to shout her and our PMG out.
He got some really good music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do.
I was going to do an interview with him. But
That's okay.
Yeah.
You will. You can still do it in another way. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, because me and Lights Out, we talking about some stuff. Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Thank you for tuning back in with Tell the Days of Noah with Vessel Yah, Bliss, and my mom. Also, I want to say that was Jay the producer. That was Warning, It's Over. That was a really dope song, and it actually kind of
Very nice song.
fit in. Before I get started, I want to say shout out to the listeners. I want to shout out to RPMG. They have been supportive from day one. From YouTube to now to when I'm like feeling down. Like I really appreciate the support, and they got a lot of great things and new shows coming up too. So check them out on YouTube. I want to say thank you, brother JT, also known as Jero24, for also being a mentor and helping me out through this tough time and always being there, supportive, and giving me words of encouragement. I also have to thank my sister Tunes, who actually called in, who's always supportive and always call at the times I really need it. And when I don't, when nobody else can understand, she calls me with the word, and it's like, I really appreciate it. So I'm about to let her talk because she just called in. So, Tunes, here you go.
Hello.
Shalom to everybody. It's real scattered. I just want to say thank. Just all just thank the Most High for another 24 to get it right. Sister, I just wanted to encourage you because I hear you, and I know if I can hear you, the Most High can hear you. And I know you were saying something about you just kind of battling within and wondering if the decision you about to make was the right decision. One thing my mom always told me was sometimes you won't see God's hand until you start moving your feet.
Yeah.
And one thing about the Most High is He don't place the answer right there in front of you. Sometimes He's lighting your steps as you take them. Because we go out into the world expecting that big boom, we're gonna be expecting it every time we go out. And that would defeat the whole purpose of trusting Him. So keep trusting Him, sis. One thing that, I can say from my experience is I ain't never been disappointed in trusting the Most High. Because that's one thing He won't do if He won't fail you. And, I like how your mom said, greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world. That's period. Point blank, period. And, vengeance is not yours to take. You always got a family with me. You always got a family with us, the bread of life. You always have a family regardless. And, my line is open 24/7. And as far as, the people that show their true colors to you, thank them. Thank them and then thank the Most High. Because one thing the Most High know how to do, like you said, is make your enemies your footstool. And, one thing about vengeance is His vengeance is way worse and His timing is way better. So that's the only thing that you got to remember. You just keep focusing on you and becoming the woman that He purposed for you to be. And whether that's continuing this, whether that's discontinuing this, whether that's continuing certain relationships, whether that's cutting certain people off, you have to do what he calls you to do, and that has to be the independent variable in your life. So I just wanted to tell you to stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. You know, the wild of the devil, they ain't nothing. They turn it up out here because he knows his time is up, and he's trying to take as many people with him. So don't be that one. Don't be that one at all. You got to stay encouraged, keep your eyes on the prize, and stay the course. Christ never said it was going to be easy. He said it was going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So just stay encouraged. Sis.
Whew. Thank you. That was, wow. Thank you. I really needed that more than you ever know, and I really appreciate you for always being supportive. And I thank the Most High Yah for bringing you in my life and first crossing paths.
Always, always.
I really appreciate that, and I thank you, and I thank the Most High Yah, and may He shine His blessings and His arms around you and everything that you do. And like you said, I'm learning myself, and I just have to be obedient and just follow and listen to His voice.
Right, listen to His voice. His sheep hear His voice. So if it ain't His voice, it's a lie. Remember that. Your eyes are self. This is what He meant when He said you have to deny yourself. Take up your cross and follow Him. Deny yourself is the first thing in that statement. Deny yourself.
Yeah. None of me and all of Him. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I needed that. And it's refreshing to hear people like you to call in at these times, to basically shine some light, to help through these dark times. Because like I said, this wasn't an easy choice and decision. Something I've been wrestling with, not getting no sleep. And I know like Satan causes snares and traps. And I've talked to several people who dealt with it, who have their shows and things, and they tell me about all the obstacles. And like I was telling my mom this morning, this could be happening too, to show me how to be strong. I ask Him for strength all the time, so I can't. It's funny, I had strength when I was in the world, and then in this walk, I be like, want to cry about everything. Like, Father, why I can't take it? But in the world, I was ready for anything. Like, I didn't care. And it's like having that same strength and the same, like you said, trust in Him in everything. So it's a reality check for me.
And if you're asking for strength and you notice that, you know, the trials start to, you know, pile up and, you know, grow broader and bigger, you got to understand, you can't have strength you can't have the strength of the world.
Yeah.
If you asking Him for strength, you know, the trials that He's giving you in the world, that's the answer to your prayer right there. Because what did He say? In the world, you're going to have trials. Be of good cheer because I've already overcome the world. So if you're going to follow Him and be as He is, you got to do the same thing, sis. Deny yourself. Take up your cross. That's some trials. Take up your cross. And He's going to give you the strength to do it. If He brought you to it, He'll bring you to it.
Yeah.
Right, man.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
That's I praise the Most High Yah. And like it's starting to see like the sun even getting a little, trying to peek through the clouds and getting lighter and brighter out. And it was so gloomy and dark and rainy here. And I guess it was matching the mood, but then He used His vessel, Sister Tunes, to call in to shed some light.
And look, everything physical is a manifestation of what? Of the
Spiritual, yeah.
So you just physically saying that, you should already know, so just sit back and be patient.
Yes.
He already said it, so consider it done. I got some prayers with your name in them, so stay encouraged.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And I'm gonna make sure I hit you up after the show.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I mean, you guys can chime in.
No, I was looking at your moment. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes you gotta just woosah. You know what I'm talking about? And I know, you know what I'm saying? We think woosah, we think Martin Lawrence rubbing the ears and all that. But no, real talk, sometimes you just gotta woosah. Sometimes you just need a word of encouragement. I don't care how strong you are. So even strong people need some encouragement sometimes. Sometimes I don't feel like the king that I say that I am every day. Sometimes I wake up like, man, I don't know, maybe I should pick something different. Maybe I should do something different. Maybe, you're going to second guess yourself. You're going to, sometimes get, man, stressed out by the pressure and the weight of the situation, especially when you're carrying a big burden. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's no way you're going to be blessed with such a magnitude, I've learned. And then God isn't going to require a lot of you. You get what I'm saying? And then you have to understand, everybody, the journey that you're taking now, everybody don't speak that language just yet. Or maybe will never speak that language. So trying to get them to understand, trying to communicate with people who don't talk that language. It's like me going to Japan and trying to talk English, and they don't, they're not going to understand me. A few people are going to take time to say, well, let's try to get an understanding. But not everybody is going to understand you. And, you just got to keep walking your walk and keep your faith. So big ups to Tunes, man. I think she said a lot. Definitely encouraging, definitely motivating, definitely uplifting. And like you say, it seemed like it got a little notch lighter outside,
Yeah.
Through it all, like I say, even if this is the last show for this platform or this particular time or whatever the case may be, overall, don't let it affect your journey. Because this is just an outlet to put your message out there, to put the message of Yah out there. Your journey is your journey at the end of the day.
And see, I want to say, to your point, Liz, that this platform was part and will always be a part of her journey. A lot of times we don't necessarily understand the actual path or the stops that we have to go through when we're on our journey, because we aren't supposed to understand. At the end of the day, it's like they say, less of you and more of the Most High. So when you surrender your all and you allow Him to lead and to guide you and to direct your path and to decide when you stop and when you go and decide when to make a turn and when not to make a turn, what you start realizing is each time you make a movement or every action that you take, it's no longer you, it's you being obedient and being a willing vessel for Him to direct you, going back to that trust. So at the end of the day, there is not one thing that you have experienced and that you will continue to experience, that as long as you keep the Most High in the front and understand that it's not you, but you want more of Him, you will be okay.
Yeah.
What Mama said.
Yes. And so we could take a break, and I'm going to play Brother JT, Everything You Done For Me, also known as Jero24 on YouTube.
Okay. We had a small pause there. There we go.
That was nice what you just said. I'm going to acknowledge that too.
Going on again.
So at the end, if you can make a list if you need to, but just shout out all the people that, like Deviated Path, all the people that you want to just say, one final thank you for the support, the encouragement. You're now on Deborah and Watchman's thing. You might want to mention them, and then when you, that way, that's at the end when you're about to sign off. Because they say, your mom can talk.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Fine. You seem lighter. You seem like you was just so bogged down, and it was just weighing on you. And so it's like, I think you knew, but you didn't want to know. And that's human. That's what it makes us feel like, are we failing? And that's why I said what I said. Yeah, but you can't look at it that way. Like you said, you want more of Him. So if He's leading you, what He's saying is, okay, it's time for you to make a turn here, and just keep trusting me, and I'm going to show you where I want you to go there. But when it's us, that's why, again, back to you said about the emotion thing, that's why you start feeling like a failure. Because in your mind, this was the path you were supposed to take. And this was supposed to go on forever and ever and ever, and ever, or at least for a longer period of time. Because man, you know, they say they want to make the Most High laugh.
Yeah,
come up with a plan.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how your spirit, everything lifted. So that just think about it. You have to. I can see it, so I know you're feeling. You gotta feel like. Yeah, it's not supposed to be that hard.
I just feel bad because I have had people like I was supposed to line up. I had lined up interviews.
But what I'm trying to do,
I have you
but,
too.
no, but not only that, this is what I'm trying to get you to do. Stop boxing the Most High in. You say you have people you're gonna line up interviews with. How do you know what platform that He may introduce you to that you can do those interviews? That's what I'm trying to tell you. In other words, stop trying to map out the entire plan now.
Yeah, you're right.
When you trust, you take
Just let it go. Worry about
time.
today, not tomorrow.
That's right. Living right now, the moment.
You might end up
You
with
might
your
be on
own
TV.
backdrop,
Who knows?
with Soda Days and Noah backdrop,
That's my
and
point.
you two chairs in front of it, and a coffee table in the middle of
Hello?
you, and a camera, and shooting it, actually doing a video type thing to where you
And that's my point.
reach more people or
Yeah.
gravitate to a larger audience. You never know.
No.
You know, maybe God is telling you, hey, let's sit back and revise it and make it bigger.
And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. But see, because think about it, you went from somebody that was scared to even talk on the mic. Now you just talk comfortable.
You know, you gotta recognize your own growth.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
Sure. Oh, JT. This the end of it?
Yeah. Shout out to Brother JT, Jerome24. Check out his YouTube. He's very powerful and really a servant of the Most High Yah. And we always on one accord, and Most High give confirmation. And shout out to his beautiful wife, Dee Dee. She's very sweet and supportive as well. Also, I want to talk about, it's funny, somehow like my family, like I don't talk to them anymore. People I thought was friends. But when I look at it, it was fake and phony anyway, because I really didn't have nothing in common with them except for getting drunk and go to the club. And I'm not in that walking that life anymore. So it's funny that they don't talk to me because I guess they feel like I'm weird or crazy. And some think it's a cult. Really don't care. That's why I'm so glad the Most High brought me up as a loner anyway. So I can't ever get attached to people because I already expect. You can't expect people to do certain things if you already expect them to do what they're going to do, if that makes sense. So it's the Most High works on time, and He gives you what you need, what you don't realize you need. So I was on the Watchmen Reports for whoever watches Deborah and Watchmen on YouTube, and they have a website, and I have made a page a while ago, and I never checked that page. And literally, the Ruach told me the other day to go on there, and I seen I had an email.
Yeah.
So I was just promoting the show and just okay, whatever. And then I actually looked at it, and it's a group called Awakened by Yah in the Chicagoland area. And I want to shout out Awakened by Yah because they gave me such a family-oriented feeling yesterday. We had Sabbath yesterday together, and it was really beautiful. Shout out to Brother Solomon, who literally came all the way from the Kankakee area to come pick me up north. When I have people that live in the city won't even pick me up. He didn't ask for nothing. They fed me. It was such a great experience. So shout out to Awakened by Yah, and I'm excited to see what the Most High, the direction He's going to take it with that, and how they have been so encouraging. And it's a wonderful group, and I can't wait to commune more with them and fellowship more with them, and it really helped me. And it felt great to have a family to commune and serve the Most High Yah with, like-minded people that's on the same path as you, who has the same desires to serve Him. That felt so great. So I want to shout out to Awakened by Yah. And also, it's amazing how the Most High works and how the Ruach work, because as I was talking before we went on a music break, Sister Angela sent me a message with Matthew 9:37, and that really resonated with me when it says, "Then said he unto his Talmudim," which is the disciples, "The harvest truly is plenteousness, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore Yahuwah of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest." And that was right on time. And it's like, even like my mom was just telling me on the break, just because this is ending doesn't mean that's it. Because I still have my YouTube channel, and I still plan on doing more videos on there. And who knows where this is going to go. And she was telling me that I can't look at it from the world, because they go that emotions. And greater is he that is in me. So when I know that the Mashiach is in me, I can't look at the world and of the flesh and limit myself and think about its failure by man's standards. Because the Most High is not an Elohim of failure. And he's always going to get the victory. And he gives his people the victory that trust in him. And it's like, it gave me strength. And like she said, you just seem lighter. Because like I said, she's seen the days of everything I went through and the struggle. And the Most High has truly been blessing me. And even in this text I got from Sister Angela, she said something that also resonated when she said the coyote. And just show you how the Most High, being obedient. And I can't just trust him in one aspect of my life and not trust him in other aspects. And one of the things we talked about yesterday, when we was having Shabbat service, was about certain areas you trust him. And we were talking about some people trust him in the areas of finances. And I said the two things I struggled with trusting the Most High was finances, and even when it comes to love. And I was telling them that I'm at a point in my life where I'm learning to trust him with finances, and he has. When I just think about, even with that, the blessing, and people don't even understand the things that I went through, and the people who watch my YouTube videos understand where I'm at now. And even these past couple weeks, even with the show, I had got offered a position with a great hospital here in the city of Chicago, offering some good money. And it was a struggle trying to decide if I was going to take that job or stick with the job I have now. Because the job I have now, I don't make nothing. But I have peace. I can do whatever I want to do, and I can study and do the Most High's work with no problem. The other job with the hospital would have took me away from that. And so it was a struggle. People was telling me I was crazy. I better take that job. But I said, the Ruach told me, no, that's not for you. So I turned the job down. So then I started saying, okay, Father, time is ticking. These bills is piling up. Like, I'm not trying to live paycheck to paycheck. And even the stress of trying to rent a car people don't realize we rent cars to get here every Sunday. I don't have a car. Renting cars and looking at my bank account, and it's saying $30, and the rental car is $23. I still got to make it through the week, but the Most High always supply. And I got an email about a job, and they told me that they was interested in doing an interview. And I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not taking off for this. But last Friday, on my off day, I was like, okay, I'm off. I'll do this interview. Even my attitude about this interview going was just like, okay, whatever. So I do the interview. And it's funny, I'm spending time with my family on Sunday. And I'm telling them, like, you can't make money your motivation. Because if money is your motivation and you do everything by the dollar, you are worshiping Satan. That's an idol. Because that's temporary. You're worshiping something that can burn. Something that's not even, it doesn't mean nothing. And that's the tricks. And you don't realize, we was even talking about, people always be quick to say God, but not even understand the word God and the gods of fortune and why people worship money. And I kept saying, no, I worship the Most High. And he said that he would supply all my needs. And if I trust in him. And he said if I delight myself in him, he will bless me with the desires of my heart. So I can't say that I believe his word, but then worrying and trusting on money and what Satan throwing at me. Because that job with the hospital was what Satan was throwing at me. So then come Wednesday, not even a week. Now with the hospital job, it took them a week. With this job, now imagine we had the fake holiday stuff going on. and he was back to work on Wednesday. I get a call, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna answer. And it's funny because I got the call at 11:11, and it's something about these numbers. Like I keep telling people with the sequence of numbers, but that's something I'm asking Most High to give me clarity on that too. But anyway, so they called me and they was like, we want to extend the offer of an opportunity, and I said, really? And they was like, yeah, we're interested and we want to offer you a job. And I was like, wow. And they're offering me double what the hospital was giving me.
All right.
All right now.
Come on, man.
So it's even double even my job where I was making what I thought was making good money. It's double that. Mm-hmm. And it just showed me that if you trust in him, and just like I trust in him with my finances, I had to trust in him with everything, even when it comes to this show. Everything.
Yeah.
Because he supplied and he wowed me. Like Satan dangled this little bit that should have dropped me. And it just shows how quickly because we're used to being struggle and hungry, we think that being hungry means just jumping on every opportunity that come your way and just treating everything as like it's your last. But the Most High, what he gives you is limitless and it never ends. And it goes beyond your expectation. So if I would have jumped on what Satan gave me, ain't no telling where I would have been right now.
Like he got his own timetable for everything, you know. And like you say, we can't decide, oh, we gonna be faithful in this area and we gonna be, you know, filled up in this area, but we gonna question him in this area over here. No, if we're gonna give it to him, we gotta give it all to him and just let him work through it. You do the works and let him, you know what I'm saying, pour the blessings in at the end of the day.
Yeah. And that's why I'm so grateful, because even with this, I know it's going to open up more doors, and I know I'm in the phase of new beginnings. Even with turning 35 last week, when you put the 3 and 5 is 8, and that's new beginnings. So it's like I'm embracing the new beginnings and what the Most High has for me and in store for me. And it's not for everybody to understand. It's not for everybody to see. Again, because it's the vision that he has for my life and for my journey. And even with this is not the last. This is the new beginning. I had to close one chapter because the thing about it is when you have chaos in the Most High's order. So this new platform where he's going to have you on these new beginnings is going to be in his divine order, in his divine way. And I have to just keep being obedient and trust him in every area, in all areas. And that's something that's always been a struggle. I know we was talking about the struggle series we was going to do, but I want you guys to still tune in on my YouTube with Vessel Yah, because I still want to do the struggle series of the things that we all struggle with and the demons that we battle daily. But I got to be honest, that was something I struggled with. And like I even tell people that I don't even want, I'm to the point I want to be like Paul. Like I don't even want nobody. I just want to serve the Most High and just do his will. And like they told me yesterday, if you ever want to make the Most High laugh, and it's funny, you said the same thing, you tell him your path, and he's going to prove, his word never comes back void.
That's it.
And if you ever want the Most High to, I forget how I'm trying to paraphrase it.
What I've been told is if you ever want to make the Most High laugh, tell him your plan.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, he is omnipotent. He is all-knowing. He's all-powerful. And guess what? He has already pre-designated what's going to happen in your life, when it will happen. Yes, we have free will, but at the end of the day, he's still in control. Even Satan has to ask his permission.
Yeah.
So if you know that you're serving the Most High and he has that kind of power, imagine us telling him our plan. That's a joke. So that's why they say, if you ever want to make him laugh, tell him your plan.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm thankful for everybody who took this journey with me and took their time out, and the people who supported me, which was complete strangers that I didn't know, but now have became friends and family. And that's hard for me to say because, again, I've been a loner, and it's hard for me to even trust people because of the things that I've been through and the wrongdoing that people have done to me. And I'm not going to say that I'm perfect because I still battle the flesh of holding on to grudges. And I'm learning myself through the Most High. And nobody can teach me that but the Most High. how to learn how to remove that out of my heart, and He will remove that out of my heart. And again, I have to be honest. I'm not saying this for anybody to preach down my throat and give me a lesson, because again, I talk to my Father daily, all day. I talk to the Most High more than anything. And these are battles that I have to confess. I can't keep repenting for this and I'm not confessing. And sometimes you have to confess into your naysayers. So I have to confess these are things that I struggle with. But I know that He will remove that out of me. And He will continue to make me a new creature in Him. So, like I said, it's new beginnings. And I'm grateful. So, I'm going to take another music break. And I think I'm going to go with, I'll go with Jay the Producer, Save Us Prayer. We'll be back.
Thank you.
So you gonna do a poem or no?
The
You
thing
don't
is,
have to. That's
yeah,
up
I
to you.
know, but the poem is on there, and I would have to stop the video.
You got another message for Reggie?
Yeah. But
Do you have one of his old ones? You can read.
probably not. But he wrote this one at 3 o'clock in the morning. So you know what I can do? I don't know how I can do this. I'm gonna go on. Is it connected? Connect network. He said, I'm not feeling any better but your words has very much made my day better. I get like this a lot mainly when I feel alone, but I'm leaning to overcome it through prayer. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, and I just got your message, and I can't sleep with so much in my mind and being sick, but you're right, I do have to get into serving the Most High. I'm really tired, but I have to get this poem out to you before I fall asleep.
He has such a dope vibe.
Yeah, you do.
His music is like really peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had the numbers though to see how many people actually listen.
You should still be able to get that
Hold on.
information.
Thank you for tuning back into So the Days of Noah. As in tradition, I want to, well, not tradition, but I want to read the poem by my brother Reggie. I really appreciate this because he wrote this at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's been really sick, and it's crazy. Both my brothers sick. There may be a message in that. But it's called Awaken. I've came to realization that didn't mean to just that they just didn't mean to cage me away, but to slave me in the modern day. Disassociating the love away from my heart, retraining my mind, seeing light as darkness, no hope or pride because my integrity is now fragile. From this severe battle of right and wrong, ours and theirs formed a hatred towards the different colors we share. Yah created man and woman in relations comparable for one another. Therefore, there is no color. However, one still level equality viewing my skin as a lesser than in belief theirs are greater. But it's not my place to judge. Just keep the faith and spread the love. Pray for better days, in which I hope is soon, to be always wondering if I'll ever see or get the chance to say free at last and actually be free for freedom. It's something I never had. My purpose is my destiny, and I'm destined to change lives, bringing all races together, no matter the color of the skin, because then the world would be a better place, all living equally in race. Awaken. So I want to shout out Reggie for that. And I appreciate him every week, like trying to get these poems out to me. And even seeing the growth in him that the Most High has been doing has been amazing. And I know the Most High is not through with him yet either, and it's talent. And it's funny how sometimes we don't understand why we're in certain predicaments. And even with my brother Reggie's predicament right now, sometimes the Most High will sit you down to get your understanding. And not only get your understanding, to get your attention. And to show you how to use the gifts that he gave you. Because up until the situation he's in now, he never wrote poems or nothing like this.
Wow.
He never knew none of he even had this gift until he's in the predicament he in now. And like he said, the Ruach came to him one night and just had him start writing the poems. And it lined up right in the time when we were starting the show. And even last week, he wasn't able to get a poem out to me. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, he was able to get a poem out to me today. So it just shows that it was right on time in Yah's timing. And also, I want to shout out to Deviated Path. They're another pillar that's been there and been very supportive. And I appreciate them for everything they're done. And they're a Black-owned social media site. And I encourage everybody to go over there and check it out, set up a profile, and support them. Also, be respectful on there because it's about connecting you with people who's in this walk and giving the Most High Yah praise. Not about arguing, not being Pharisees and scribes, but truly people who are wanting to connect with like-minded people and give the Most High Yah praise and actually reach the people, the lost sheep of Israel. Because we always focus on ourselves and the ones who are awakened. And I still want that message to be to be pushed. That we need to reach the lost sheep. It means nothing if the Most High give us talents and we're just sitting on these talents and not using them. I always go back to the story that the Mashiach talks about in Matthew. I can't remember exactly which one. But it's about the talents, how the master gave each one talents and what they did with it. So don't just sit on the talents that the Most High give you. Don't use it for the world purpose. And I always feel like when you're doing the work of the Most High, He will make it plentiful for you, but don't go in there looking at it for some money. Because that's giving Satan power. Because that's not what it's about. It's about reaching our brothers and sisters and bringing them back to the Most High Yah while we can. Because we're going to be held accountable for that. And that's what many of us don't remember and think about. But we're going to be held accountable for just staying in our circle. And just because you know scripture doesn't mean that you're living a righteous life. Because think about the Pharisees and scribes knew scripture, but they didn't have the Ruach. And they wasn't reaching anybody. And I always think about how the Mashiach, how he went to any and everybody and talked to anybody. He didn't discriminate because you was a Gentile. Because, to be honest, more Gentiles are more faithful in this walk than we are. And doing more than what we are. So stop being so self-righteous in this walk and start looking at your brother and sister and helping them out. And stop looking at each other as the enemy all the time. And I asked everybody to, I want to shout out and thank everybody for my 100 subscribers now on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
I woke up this morning like, oh, thank you, Father, for praying for this.
Say finally.
Finally, it's been a long one. It's funny because in the world and on Instagram and when I had Facebook, I had a lot of followers. but in this walk, people don't want to follow. It's like it hurts them to click subscribe and like. So please subscribe and like, because like I said, this is not done. Also, again, yeah, shout out to Deviated Path. So go check them out and have the Ruach with you when you're going on there, and continue to have love in your heart and not hate and want to come and bash somebody. Also, I want to say a special thank you to my mother, because she has really been my support. And it hasn't been easy, because I've been a rough person to deal with. She has to deal with my tantrums, my sadness, my cry outs, my ups, my downs, and I thank you. I never want you to feel like I don't appreciate anything that you do, because a lot of people always tell me you are so blessed to have your mother especially to be in this walk with you. So I appreciate it, and I thank the Most High for giving me a backbone in you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So
That's
I really
real dope.
appreciate everything.
For real,
I'm
like
sitting up here boo-hooing.
a lot of the times we don't get the privilege of our parents taking a walk with us, especially a career, choice. Like a lot of times, parents will be like, "Well, why you ain't do this or why you ain't do that?" So to have somebody that happens to be your mom or your dad, and they fully support whatever you do.
Yeah, everything.
And they go to bat for you for whatever you do, and they're your biggest cheerleader.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't realize how big of a blessing that is.
Yeah.
Because there's
Taking
so many
advantage.
people that wish they had that support.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we asking for the support of our friends and the world. But it's a lot of people out here just simply want their mom and dad to support them. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that you have that is a blessing within itself. For real.
Yes. So I
Thank
want
you.
to tell you thank you, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you getting up early,
Ooh.
writing scriptures, and working 50 hours a week, and then still making sure you're taking notes and sharing, and even the losses that you had from being on this walk and serving the Most High. And I just see how He has grown you and how you blossomed in Him, and how you were like back to teaching me, like how you back to your old days when you were Sunday school teacher,
Yeah, I'm
reminding
trying to
me
get
of the
back.
word, and just how the Ruach is using you, and it's just a great thing to see, and it's so beautiful and wonderful. So thank you for being a faithful servant and hearkening to the Most High God's voice.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you to you, my daughter, for, first of all, acknowledging the fact that, that you do appreciate me. So many times as parents, and especially as a mother, you always feel like you want to be there for your children. But it's so rewarding when, I've been blessed with a daughter that not only acknowledges it, but is basically my best friend. She's, ride or die, no matter what's going on. And trust me, as a mother, even though I'm the mother, I have rough days too. And it gets really hard. But to be able to, lean and to know that no matter what, that my daughter has my back, and that her love is not fake, phony, it's not what can I get out of you, but it's sincere. That's a blessing. I thank the Most High for that. And I thank the Most High for Bliss.
I was about to get him next.
I personally only had one child biologically, but Bliss is my son.
Yes,
And
indeed.
I love him, and I truly appreciate the respect and the love and just his giving and caring heart, because you don't find that often. And I don't ever want you to think that I take that for granted. I do appreciate that, and I love you for that.
And I love you, Mama. You already know.
Thank you.
I didn't, you're not my biological mom, but you are the mom in every sense of the word when I think of mother, for real.
Thank you.
And I want to tell you thank you, brother. It hasn't been easy with you, because you drive me crazy and get on my last nerve that I didn't even realize was a last. But I thank you. I have to be honest. But
That's
I thank
okay.
you for taking this journey with me, even when you didn't understand. I even appreciate, that's how some mom, even like the growth that I've seen the Most High did in you. Even you start seeking Him, and learning, and actually letting the Most High start opening up your eyes and move the blinders. I believe He's going to keep on working with you. I believe He has more work to do with you. And I've already told you before, that what he wants you to do, but you have to learn how to submit and
Yeah.
take your, and it's going to be in his timing, because I have to realize that it's not my timing, it's his timing. But I appreciate all that you've done and helping, and I can't wait for the day where you promoting parties for the Most High Yah.
Hey, and you never know. It may be tomorrow.
That's
It
it.
may be next week, but whenever it comes, it truly will come. And I appreciate you. When I'm a radio head by nature. That is God's blessing to me. He gave me the voice to be able to just reach the masses, and not just be able to reach them, but for people to engage to this voice for whatever reason, you know. So when you decided you were coming into the radio aspect, and I know you had, went to school for radio and everything, but
I quit.
just to be able to walk this particular journey,
Yeah.
I came on board not only because, initially we got to make you sound good, it was because it was you and my love for you, and it's no disrespect to the Most High or the journey you are walking, or even the things that I've learned in this process. It's simply because you had an interest in this and my love for you. That's it, So anything that you put your hand into and I can support it or be behind it or help with it, I'm going to always be here. That's what big brothers do.
Yeah.
We protect you. When you fall, we pick you up. We tell you it's going to be
You
all
didn't
right.
pick me up when I hurt my arm.
I wasn't there. Mazir tried to help you. The dog was there. But, that's what big brothers do. We protect you from the world as much as we can. And, even when we don't want to, come on, sis. Let's go on, take this walk. So that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And I want people to take that. Family not always going to get along.
Yeah.
You're going to bump heads, you're going to argue, you're going to have disagreements. But you got to be there for each other at the end of the day.
Yes.
And that's what's important.
Yes.
Minus whatever. You got to be there for your family through the
Yes.
ups and downs, and keep encouraging them and keep motivating, keep pushing them.
Yeah.
So that's my job in this whole demonstration here. No matter what platform we have endured, whether it's My Radio Chicago or Club Jaguar, my job was to be there to protect you and to make sure you're good. And you protect me in some ways too.
In all ways.
No.